I want to bring in my next guest, Grover Norquist, who created the Taxpayer Protection Pledge, which requires politicians to promise not to raise taxes. Grover, you've got more than 1,000 politicians to sign the pledge. How many have already violated the pledge?
Well, over time, several have. George Herbert Walker Bush did in 1990, and then he lost the presidency 2 years later. He serves as a bad example to discourage other people from breaking the pledge. In the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, 236 pledge takers. In the U.S. Senate, 41 pledge takers, so a majority of the folks in the House of Representatives, and about 1,200 plus state legislators, governors, 13 governors. Good collection of folks at the state level as well.
And how many violated? You want to name some names?
Oh, well, actually not too many. The two, Chandler, a Democrat congressman from Kentucky, broke the pledge. He was elected promising not to raise taxes. He did vote for it, unfortunately. Not too many have, because people don't want to break the pledge because they know that the voters tend to get irritated.
All right, hang in there, guys. I want to bring it out. Chris, what say you? You listen to the fair tax debate. Doesn't sound bad. What, you don't like it, though?
I'm a big fan of Neil's, and I think the fair tax has a lot going for it. It's a single flat rate, which is great. That's fair for everyone, and it doesn't punish savings and investment like the current income tax. I'm scared about introducing the idea of a national sales tax into this with this crowd in Congress. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid would take the idea of a sales tax and put it on top of the income tax. We'd end up with two different tax systems in this country, which is so it's really dangerous. I like the basic concept. Let's do it when we have a free market Congress and a free market president.
I put you here because I want to hold your arm so you don't jump in. I want to get to, go ahead, sir.
Well, part of the problem, I think, in this discussion is the central issue needs to be visibility. Flat tax, fair tax, if you have a simple tax with one rate, people will suddenly see how much they're paying for government, and whether it's 23%, 30%, 19%, I think they're all going to say, I'm paying too much.
And Neil?
Okay, fair tax. The legislation will read, this goes into effect the first day of the year following the repeal of the 16th Amendment to the Constitution. Cannot, and you're exactly right, it cannot be added on to the income tax. We're sunk if that ever happens.
Grover, you want to weigh in on the fair tax?
Well, I think the fair tax, moving to a single rate tax that taxes consumed income one time, whether it's the fair tax, a retail sales tax, or an income flat rate income tax that doesn't double tax savings and investment, they're economically the same. I would point out that the goal of the American left, the Obamas, the Reids, and Pelosi's, is to add a value-added tax, a European-style sales tax, value-added tax, on top of the income tax. Then we are Europe. And so the real danger is we end up with both. That's the thing to fear.
But on the other hand, then everyone pays tax, right, Neil? I mean, it doesn't. Right now, there's 47% of American households are saying, I'm against this, because under a fair tax or flat tax, they'd have to pay tax.
Well, we do have net tax consumers in this country who pay nothing toward the operation of virtually any government. That's somewhat of a new development in our republic. So everybody doesn't pay tax right now.
Quickly?
Everyone agrees we want transparency, a simple flat rate system. Everyone would know how much government costs them, and that's the key here. If we had a flat rate tax of some sort of like 15%, everyone would know the federal government costs 15% of everything they earn.
We'll leave it there. I'm going to say thank you to Neil Bortz and Grover Norquist.
Thank you.
Fair tax, flat tax.